I just got off a red ice on a little booze. I know, terrible morning joke. Terrible. Thank you guys for being here.
Third panel of the DragonCon.
Wow.
It's only been 3 so far. And they're all awake and not hungover. It's amazing. Well, okay, they're all awake and dressed. So, welcome.
Thank you. This is crazy, you guys. I was just in an interview at the Marriott, and it was, you know, we've been to San Diego Comic-Con six years in running, and it's huge. This one's huge, and I love it. So it's a great atmosphere.
Well, it's very interesting because Silas and other people came about 3 years ago.
Yeah, Silas and Claire, yeah.
Silas and Claire and, Hank? Russell, thank you.
Russell, oh.
Yeah, they all 3 came a couple of years ago, and they were like, oh, these people are here to see us? I'm like, yes. Oh. They're like, but they're not waiting here on the next panel. I'm like, no, it's not like that other Comic-Con. No. They're all, we bring them in, we take them out, so we're all good. So, Sergeant Wu
yes.
has been in some ways both unknown and known. When did they say to you, you're finally going to be a part of the game?
They never said that. Actually, you know what? They were here's the thing. They were wanting to hold off until possibly the 4th season. Right? So, but it was you guys, actually, and they said, okay, we're going to bring him in, because I literally 2nd season, I think it was, I don't know, it was the first season when Hank found out, because Hank had to find out pretty quickly, right? So I read the script and I saw him finding out, and I was like, aww. I was so jealous. I can tell you that now, 6 seasons in, but I was so jealous, and then 3rd season came by and I was like, aw. And then you guys just kept tweeting in, kept writing it. It was, thank you guys so much, because it literally was, you know, we were investigating, I think that was the year that Renard was like, you know, he was shot in Nick's place, and then we were investigating Nick's place, and they were like, well, if Wu's there, he's going to see the books. So if he sees the books, he's going to start to question some stuff. And that's the thing about these writers, they write very organically, so they're like, they write as if, you know, they don't go to the next episode. They don't go like, oh, we want Wu to find out, like, you know, 5 episodes in. No, they're going to go, we're going to write it and see what happens and go from there. But thank the Lord, I'm not just describing crime scenes trying to be sarcastic. I love it too. Thank you for that. No, it's fun. He's really. When I don't fancy myself a sarcastic person in real life, so it's nice to get it out on screen.
You don't fancy yourself?
I don't fancy myself. Do you? That's Wu tweeting.
That's Wu tweeting? Okay. Well, I think
sometimes when I'm like tweeting the show, it's like, who am I? I don't know who I am right now. Because you're watching the show, you know, we're trying to like, it's fun to interact with you guys. If you ever get on and you live tweet with us, we're literally out there going, what do I say to that? Because you guys are so witty that it's like we don't have anything to come back with. It's like, oh, I don't know. I need to call a writer and see if like there's like something sarcastic that I can say to that.
I love how with Wu it was very organic. It was, and there was some anger. But there was also like, there was a lot of anger. But it was also underlaid with, I get why you couldn't tell me. But that had to be difficult because it was like, dudes, I went into a mental hospital because of you.
And then people were like, why didn't you like, you know, kill him after like they told you? And literally it was like, I think after I put myself into the mental hospital, tweets came in with like Nick and Hank's picture and then assholes right over it. And they have that in the writer's office, like on the door. And I think that's when they decided to bring me into the fold.
I think that has to be a question to borrow. I really do. When you're, how does it feel to be an asshole to Woo?
I get them. They're my good buddies off and on the show. So I don't know if you guys have probably heard that this is our last season. We are, we always thought, after the third season, we were like, oh, next year's probably our last season. And after the fourth, we were like, oh, next year's probably our last season. And here we are 6 seasons later because of you guys. Seriously, because of you guys. And that's why we like to do this. I love to do this, because it's why we're still on the air. But we're such a family, and we feel like we're a family with you guys, that that's going to be the most kind of heroic. Sasha Roy's, tall, big Sasha Roy's is like, dude, can you imagine the last day? We're going to be like, and I was like, dude, I know. We're not looking forward to it, and I will tell you what though. I know we say this every year, but it's like, what we've filmed so far is crazy. It's crazy, and you know that David Giuntoli directed our first episode this season.
No, I didn't. Really, David did that.
And he was a rock star. That dude was a rock star. He knew exactly what he wanted, and I was like, just make Woo funny. Just make Woo funny. That's all I asked.
Well, Woo has been both kind of the comic relief, but also in a way a barometer of the craziness of the show in some ways. Because you'll see Woo and he'll be like, we got another severed head. He's like, I don't know what's wrong with Portland. And then yet he'll make this quip and you're just like, okay, thank you, I can get through it. That's partly you. That has to
Lord God. I think every actor has a bit of that in them. I mean, it's funny because I've always played bad guys previous to this in different movies. I think Woo is my first good guy ever. But I once did a Sam Raimi film called Drag Me to Hell years back, and I auditioned for Sam Raimi, and I did this scene where I was just like, I was after this Alison Lohman who played the main girl. I was after her job, and I was just like, I'm gonna get that job. And I did this scene, and it was like a really nasty ass scene. Like, he was really nasty, and then Sam was just like, some of that's got to be in you. That was pretty real. And I thought, I don't know, you access it from somewhere, but yeah, I mean, I think Woo has always kind of been the everyman of the show. He's been kind of like the guy who's like, something's fucking off. And then it's like, there was one panel that we actually did here, and as someone asked us, it's like, with Russell and I, when like a creature comes around the corner, what do you think now of that? And Russell's like, I just shoot him. And me, I'm still like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. And it's just that kind of thing where it's just like, every moment to me is like a normal human being, where it's like, if I ever saw that, I mean, I would shit my pants.
I love the scene in the house when you have the weapon and it doesn't work, and you're just like, oh, screw that. And you're just like, and you just like start doing whatever you got around you.
Because you have
the everyman kind of reaction.
You have to do whatever you have to do in order to survive.
And yet, you have such a loyalty to Nick, to Hank, to what's going on, that I think that's what also touches us. Because you're like, all right, you going out to hunt this? I'm there. And not even when they expect you to show up, you're like, dude, I can follow you. I can find you wherever. And I love that too, because that loyalty about this show, these characters' loyalty to each other, has, I think, been something that we've all connected with in a lot of ways.
Well, I think that comes from an off-screen love affair with each other. I think we just from the get-go, it was just the chemistry was just personally off-screen. Obviously, since two of them are engaged. But you know, it's just the chemistry has always been there. It's been pretty fantastic that way, and so it translates. When you're on screen, when you care about someone that much to go, you know, and do your thing, it translates. But Wu has always wanted to be, I mean, he's always wanted to be like the best cop ever, like in the history of copdom. So, you know, he's got it figured out before they have it figured out. Hence the glances like, hello. So.
Well, it's that, you know, I know Portland's weird because I've been there. And it really is weird.
Yay!
And I mean, Portland being a part of that is also something. But it's also that, okay, I know Portland's weird, but not this weird. I mean, that's the kind of face sometimes Wu gets.
Yeah, no, it is. Portland is definitely in my estimation, since I grew up in Ohio, which is not really that weird. So then going to LA, which is a little bit weirder, then you get to Portland, and it's like, wow. Every turn, like one time I was just driving and I saw, I mean, it was like, I don't know, it was maybe June, and this guy was on a bike that was maybe like a unicycle, 20 feet high, dressed as Santa Claus. And I thought, okay, that's pretty normal here. But I still did take a picture of it and like tweet it out, because that's pretty cool, you know?
Do you think because as Sam Raimi said, there's something dark in you, is that something you're bringing out with your new powers or your new infection?
With Neanderwu?
Yeah, I almost want to call it an infection. Neanderwu?
Neanderwu.
Is that what you guys are calling it?
Neanderwu is now the moniker, or as David Gentoli has termed him now, Neandrewu. So, which is his first name. But I know you hardly ever hear it. So when someone says Drew, they're like, "Who's that?" But yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, at first I was like, wait a minute. What do you mean I'm turning into a creature? What do you mean? It's like, are you going to kill me off? You know, that's always as an actor, you're just like, wait a minute. Season 5, are they going to kill someone? Are they going to kill someone off? You know, but you know, I think he's always been such a cop at heart that he can't help but use this stuff for good. He's a little freaked out. He doesn't know what to do with it. You know, I mean, he's still gonna like try to find out what's going on. I mean, he doesn't know what's going on. So that's a joy as an actor to play. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love seeing a monster. Like, not knowing where else as an actor do you get to experience beyond, like, you know, the human world, like that kind of stuff.
Well, I want to ask a tech question, and then I'm going to go out for those questions. But so you can answer this as I go. How long does it take to get from Wu to meet Andrew Wu?
2 seconds, because someone else does it for me.
Oh, really? Okay, keep talking. No, keep going.
It's literally, you know, we all CG, like, they put these dots on our face, and then they do the graphics afterwards, and then for some reason they shoot these 2 balls with the camera. It's like a silver ball and a white ball, and for some reason that balances the color, and then they put our face on. But if we're doing stunts, they have like my stunt double. His name's Roel Felma, and he is phenomenal. They dress him up and make him go through the rigors of a 3-hour makeup process. I hope to get to do it once, you know, but 3-hour makeup process. But he was also my stunt double in Pirates of the Caribbean, so we've come full circle on that. But yeah, so it's fun. They you know, we'll do a take without we'll like morph in our weird morphing way, and then they'll say, okay, dotted. And then they dot us. And then they'll go, okay, we're done with that. Balls. And then they film the balls. So now you guys know the process. That's how it goes.
I know I'm on Dragon. Wait.
That's okay, I think I can hear you.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
other people can't. I know I'm on DragonCon TV, but seriously, it's like, balls! You know, like,
balls.
Balls. Time for the balls. Okay. We have a question. Come on up. Hi.
Hi.
This is my first DragonCon.
Oh, me too. You and I both. Welcome. What's your name?
My question is, do you think Wu will get a love interest by the end of this season? And would it be a Vesson one?
I think
He
some
doesn't- he
Neander
doesn't
love
get a
has
lot
to
of
happen.
love.
Say it again?
He doesn't get a lot of love on that show.
No. Even Hank gets a lot of love, and he gets like, maybe they all fall apart, but he gets some.
Don't eat the
So,
cookie. Don't eat the cookie.
I know, right? I love cookies so much. Obviously, cookies and donuts. What's my problem, God? I will say this: it's possible, and it's possible. It's been noted. It's been, how do I say this? It's been brought to my attention that it's very possible. In terms of the second part of your question, how do I say this? I can't answer that next question. but that's a pretty good tease, right? That's believe me, it's gonna be good. It'll be fun.
Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome to your first DragonCon.
So I want to say with the tease, when we had Silas and Claire here, one of the things somebody asked is, when are we going to see some Rosalie and Monroe babies? And they both got this look on their face and went, babies are interesting. And everybody in the audience was like, oh, that's a baby. And then we got the other baby, which is the most adorable baby in the whole wide world.
I know.
But they took us down a wrong road, so we're watching it.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Now we have Diana, who's like a force to be reckoned with. But,
well, Diana, but then little Kelly.
Oh, and little Kelly. Yes. But I will tell you that it is deemed the final season, so lots of things can happen.
Lots of things. And you guys got 12 episodes in this one, right? 13?
13.
I'm so sorry, 13. That is not an unlucky number in Grimm's world, so we're good.
13.
Okay, we got another question?
Yeah, so
Hey.
I know you're Filipino and probably
Yeah.
looking at your IMDb page, I have a Filipino aunt, and I was just wondering.
You do?
I do, yes.
How'd that happen?
My uncle was my uncle used a dating service way back in '94. And,
Wow, very cool.
So anyway, so it's a little personal for me, and I was just curious what it's like being a Filipino actor, where most of the time, if you are from that region of the world, they just say, yeah, you're Japanese or Chinese or whatever. If you're Asian enough, we'll just call it that and have a day with it.
Oh, well, first of all, I'm the most un-Filipino looking Filipino that there is. So it's whenever I get cast, I never get cast as Filipino. I either get cast as Korean or Chinese. Yeah, so I think that's why it worked so much, because it's like, now it's finally like all the other ethnicities are starting to like come to the forefront. But I love it. I love that they've come to me, these creators, it's David Greenwald and Jim Kauf. They came to me and asked me if like there were any Filipino folktales.
So that's where the Aswang came from?
That's when the Aswang came in. And yeah, and so they asked me, and I said, are you kidding? That's all they live for in the Philippines. They believe it so much because it's an island, in an island nation. It's like all they do is like talk about these stories and suddenly they become real. Like if you watch any, why am I going to say this? If you watch any Filipino television, that's a lot of what they have. I mean, apparently their CG is not as good as ours, but it's that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I brought to them the Aswang and several other ones. But they did, when they first told me, they were like, "Oh yeah, we love all three. We're gonna go with the Aswang." And I thought, it's Aswang. Just so you know for future references, so you don't, whatever. But it is, yeah. So now they've brought this whole culture into the fold, and it's great. And I hope to see more Filipino families on television, and I hope to bring them there. So thank you for that question. I love that was personal. Thank you for that.
Well, your show, and we all have applauded this before when we talk about it in fandom discussions in our panel room, this is the most diverse show. One of the most diverse shows on TV right now.
Yeah.
And it's...
Yeah.
It's great, but it's also a little sad.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, think about it. You know, it seems so weird, guys. It's just, we started 6 years ago. That's weird.
Yeah.
And 6 years ago, yeah. I mean, it was like they kind of started this thing. And you guys probably know this, but I auditioned for the part of Hank. So it actually came down to Russell, myself, and a Caucasian actor that you would probably know if I said the name. But and Tom Cruise, exactly. But you know, it was interesting because when we walked out in the parking lot, I was walking with Russell, and it's, you know, with the whole ethnic thing, and I said, you know, if I don't get it, I hope you get it. And sure enough, he got it. And I can't imagine anyone else being Hank at all. And then they called my agent and said, we really like Reggie, we'd like to write a role for him. So, and the casting director, the head casting director of NBC said, you know, I'll approve it if you name him after me. And her name was Grace Wu. And she's still there. So, hence Sergeant Wu was born. And yeah, they didn't think about, you know, let's cast a white guy, black guy, Asian guy in this. They were just like pulling people that they thought would be great for the role. And so they started this thing. And now hopefully we're starting to push forward.
They looked for the best talent, and that's what they got.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. I cannot imagine this show without all of them, but Wu being the voice of reason, thank goodness. Thank God there's somebody that's saying. Okay, next question.
Okay, first off, thanks for coming to the con.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my wife and I, we love us some Wu. So.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And my mother's Filipino. So.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, tell her como está.
With Wu being so popular with everybody, what was it like when they finally told you that they were going to give you the upgrade?
Which upgrade? Because the captain one hasn't happened yet. No.
The finding out.
The finding out.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, a whole new world opened up. Because I can tell you, as an actor, it's kind of, there's something fun about about not knowing and going, what the fuck is going on? And what is going on with these guys? You know, but there's also like that whole thing about being freaked out and then knowing and being excited about this whole new world that was going on. And I love that it was a slow burn for Wu, because if they would have, you know, for everyone else, they kind of found out pretty quickly. But for me, it was like just this gradual thing, so I had somewhere to go. And then they took it one step further and made me a creature of some sort. And so that takes it even further. I mean, I just think, especially, and I'm going to address the diversity issue now, and I think for any actor of color, it's no longer okay to just fill a quota and be part of the background. I think they need to start putting us, moving the plot, having us move the plot forward. So, and I think it's great that they've taken that and run with it, because, you know, all these shows are now like coming on and going, oh yeah, we're going to be the first. We did it way back. So, you know, people are just hopping on now. So I appreciate the question. It's exciting. And even in the 6th season, I love the show so much, and I love you guys, and I love being a part of it. I've loved my journey on it more than anything I've ever done as an actor. And I've been doing this for over 20 years now. So thank you for that. I love it.
Next question.
First off, let me say OH.
I-O. How'd you know that?
I am from Ohio.
Where in Ohio?
I was born in Akron and raised in Cleveland.
Dude. Like a Sasha-ism. No, my dad is a doctor. He did his internship at St. Thomas Hospital in Akron, and I went to school, like elementary school in Akron, and then I did the high school in Cleveland.
Okay, that's exactly.
Brother.
Oh.
Congratulations on the championship.
Finally.
I know, right? Finally.
Now we can't just keep saying next year.
I know, right? Okay.
My question was, do you have a scene that you've loved most out of all the ones that you've shot?
Wow. Man. It's interesting, you know, I was, now that we're, my agent called and was like, we should start putting together a demo reel for you. And I started going back through all the scenes, and I can't even, you know, there's been such a plethora of crazed, anxious scenes that I don't know which crazed, anxious scene to pick. There are two that come to mind instinctively. The first one, when I go up to Nick and Hank, is the Chupacabra episode. When I go up to them and I said, I'm leaving. Unless you tell me what's going on, I'm done with you. And it was a scene that was like, you know, we're such a jovial group of people that we're almost like all us actors are on the side talking about like where we're gonna go for dinner like tomorrow. That was a scene where it was like quiet. I mean, we were quiet, we were in it. I mean, we were in it, and it felt so real and so fun with those two. And I get emotional now just thinking about it. And the second scene was with Juliet, when she comes to the psychiatric ward, and she has a talk with me. And you know, we love our work as actors, and when you get scenes like that with another actor, all of them wonderful, but when you get in there and you know, really was emotional for both of us. And also because we're such good friends, that it was like she's the one that kind of pulled me out of it. And actually, like when she turned into Eve, that was emotional for me because I was like, where's the Juliet that was that sweet woman that was trying to pull me out? But man, she's a kick-ass Eve. So hey, props to her. So those are the two, absolutely. And my first morph. That one. Although my neck really hurt, like the next day I had a kink.
Really? You said,
yeah, because it was interesting, because they were like, okay, I was working on the morph, I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna morph like a Neanderthal man. Like, and so I was working on it, and you get really tense in your neck, and you start doing all this weird stuff, and then, you know, they do it about 20 times. So the next day I was like, oh my God. So I couldn't move, I couldn't turn my neck, and then they were like, David Greenwald comes to me and they were like, you know what? We're gonna change him because he's not Vesson, so we're not really gonna have him morph that way. So we're gonna cut all that out. So I was like, okay, that's fine. No, but it was that first morphing time.
Our next question. Hi.
Hi.
Considering how much the writers love to end every season on a cliffhanger, I'm wondering, we just found out the official word about the last season, like last weekend. Did they find out in time to know how they want to plan season 6, or were they just already, they had a plan regardless of whether it continued or not?
I think they had both, you know, and we kind of all knew in our hearts, and we all knew that it was like, is